Hello everyone, I am B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore. Dear second PUC students, in my last session, we studied about some concepts of chapter 1 called reproduction in organisms. In my today's session, I'll be dealing with the remaining concepts of this chapter called reproduction in organisms. Before I move on to the second session, let us brief up as to what we have studied in the first session of this chapter called reproduction in organisms. We studied about the definition of reproduction, what is reproduction, what is the significance of reproduction. Then we studied about lifespan and how it differs from an organism to organism. Hope you all remember the green bird called parrot and the black bird called crow, right? Then we also studied about the different types of reproduction, namely the asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. Then we moved on to the first type of reproduction called asexual reproduction. What is the definition of asexual reproduction and what are the features of asexual reproduction? Then we studied about the different methods of asexual reproduction, may it be cell division or binary fission or fragmentation, budding in yeast, conidiospore formation, then zoospore formation, etc. We also dealt with vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. As you know, the asexual reproduction in plants was called as vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Then we studied about the different vegetative structures, may it be like the bulb of onion, the sucker of chrysanthemum, then the offset of water hyacinth, etc. Then we moved on to a very important concept, that is sexual reproduction. How it differs from asexual reproduction and which is more advantageous, whether it is asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. We also dealt with the features of sexual reproduction. Then we moved on to the three very important phases in sexually reproducing organisms, namely the juvenile phase in animals and the vegetative phase in plants, the reproductive phase, and the last but one called the senescent phase. Moving on to the remaining concepts of this chapter called reproduction in organism. What are we going to study in this session 2 then? We are going to study about the two very important plants which show unusual flowering, right? Then we'll move on to the reproductive phase, wherein you'll be studying about the two very important types called the seasonal breeders and the continuous breeders. Then we'll move on to a very important concept called reproductive cycle, wherein we'll be studying about two very important types of reproductive cycles called the estrous cycle and the menstrual cycle. Now let me move on to the first concept of this session, that is about the two very important plants which show unusual flowering. There are some plants, children, which show rare flowering in the plant kingdom, and one such plant is bamboo. One such plant is bamboo. Now this flowering in bamboo is considered as a very rare and unique flowering process because this kind of flowering is very rare and unique in the plant kingdom. And this bamboo flowers or produces spectacular flowers once in 50 to 100 years, depending upon the different species. Right, so this bamboo plant produces spectacular flowers once in lifetime, that is between 50 to 100 years. Even now, the botanists around the world are searching for a reason to know this rare flowering phenomenon in bamboo plant. So this is a very important question which is asked in your PU board exam. Name the plant which flowers once in lifetime. What is the answer? It is bamboo. Bamboo flowers once in lifetime. That is between 50 to, that is bamboo plant flowers once in its lifetime, that is 50 to 100 years. What are the two examples we are going to study? One is bamboo, the other one is Strobilanthes kuntiana. Actually, Strobilanthes kuntiana is commonly called as Neelkuranji. Neelkuranji, because of its purplish blue color, it is called Neelkuranji. So this bamboo plant flowers, when this bamboo plant flowers once in lifetime, that is between 50 to 100 years, and then die. Moving on to the next example, that is Strobilanthes kuntiana. This, as I said, is commonly called as Neelkuranji. And this Neelkuranji is a shrub that is found in the Shola forests of the Western Ghats in South India and Nilgiri hills, and it has got its name because of its purplish blue color, and it forms a blue mountains, and it attracts many tourists because this very important plant called Strobilanthes kuntiana flowers, that is once in 12 years. So this flower called Strobilanthes kuntiana blooms or blossoms or flowers once in 12 years, and this mass flowering help the plant to survive, and it also produces many seeds which cannot be eaten by the predators. So what is so speciality of this plant called Strobilanthes kuntiana? This plant called Strobilanthes kuntiana produces what type of flowers? Purplish blue flowers, hence the name Neelkuranji. And when does it flower or blossom? It blossoms once in 12 years. So this is also a very important question which is asked in the PU board question paper. Name the plant which flowers once in 12 years. So what is the answer? The plant that flowers once in 12 years is Strobilanthes kuntiana. I remember there was an ad for the Sprite, I think, where the three boys stand near the edge of the mountain and they want to cross the other mountain where they were full flowers of Neelkuranji. So they wanted to move to that. So when they drank the Sprite, they got the energy to move to the next mountain and have a picture of that beautiful blue mountain. So I just remembered that ad which usually we got it in the TV channels, right? So what is so speciality of these two very important plants? Bamboo plant flowers or blossoms once in lifetime, that is once in 50 to 100 years. Whereas Strobilanthes kuntiana, what is the common name called? Neelkuranji. Why it has got its name Neelkuranji? Because of its purplish blue color, and it flowers or blossoms once in 12 years, right? So for example, if they ask in exam, name a plant which flowers once in lifetime, what is the answer? That is bamboo. Then what is name the plant that flowers once in 12 years? That is Strobilanthes kuntiana. Please do remember these two very important examples. Then moving on to the next concept called reproductive phase. Do you think, and this reproductive phase is of variable duration in different organisms. Based on the duration, we classify the animals into two types, that is seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. Seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. Now let us see the difference between the seasonal breeders and the continuous breeders. So what are seasonal breeders? The very word itself will tell you. These are the animals which reproduce only during favorable season. So the climatic conditions are very much important for the animal to breed. So those animals which reproduce only during a particular favorable season are called seasonal breeders. That is, these are the animals which reproduce only during favorable, not during unfavorable, favorable seasons in the reproductive phase. What are the examples? Frog, lizard, cow, buffalo, etc. I think let us, all of you know, rainy season is the best season, breeding season for the frogs. As you know, the frogs go to the water, the female frog goes to the water to lay eggs, and the male frog sheds the eggs sheds the sperms on the egg, and the process of fertilization happens outside the body, that is in the external medium, that is water. So water is a very, very important medium for the frogs to reproduce. So based on the season, so rainy season is the best season for the frogs to breed, right? So what are seasonal breeders? These are the animals which breed only during favorable seasons, right? Now moving on to the next, that is the continuous breeders. So these are the animals, these animals actively reproduce throughout their reproductive phase. So throughout their reproductive phase, they are actively reproducing. So what are continuous breeders? Continuous breeders are those animals which reproduce throughout their reproductive phase. What are the examples you are going to give? Rabbit, poultry birds, mice, man, etc. Right? Now what is the difference between the continuous breeders and the seasonal breeders and the continuous breeders? Seasonal breeders are those animals which breed only during favorable season. Then what are continuous breeders then? Continuous breeders are those animals which reproduce throughout their reproductive phase. This is a very important question which is asked for 2 marks. Differentiate the seasonal breeders from the continuous breeders with suitable examples. Then moving on to the next concept called reproductive phases, called reproductive cycles. What do you mean by reproductive cycle? The cyclic changes seen in the female reproductive system of female mammals is called reproductive cycle. What is reproductive cycle? The cyclic changes that are seen in the female reproductive system of female mammals is called reproductive cycle. And reproductive cycle is of 2 types. One is called the estrous cycle, the other one is called the menstrual cycle. So what are the 2 types of cycle, reproductive cycles? One is called the estrous cycle and the other one is called the menstrual cycle. Now let us study what is the difference between estrous cycle and the menstrual cycle. Estrous cycle is the reproductive cycle that is seen in the matured non-primate mammals. So what is estrous cycle? Estrous cycle is a reproductive cycle seen in the sexually matured non-primates. Right? Now what are the examples? Cows, sheep, rat, deer, dogs, tiger, etc. Right? So what are the examples you are going to give for estrous? What is estrous? What is reproductive cycle? The cyclic changes that occur in the reproductive system of the female mammals. What are the 2 types? Estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. What is estrous cycle? It is a reproductive cycle seen in sexually matured non-primates. Like what? Like cow, sheep, rat, deer, dog, tiger, etc. Now moving on to the next type called menstrual cycle. The periodic series of changes that occur in the female reproductive system of primates. There in estrous cycle it was non-primates. Here it is primates. So what is menstrual cycle? It is a cyclic changes that is associated with the female reproductive system of primates. So what are the examples you are going to give? Human, monkey and apes. Once again, what is the difference between the estrous cycle and the menstrual cycle, children? Estrous cycle is a type of reproductive cycle seen in sexually matured non-primates, and menstrual cycle is a cycle which is seen in primates. So the periodic series of changes that occur in the female reproductive system of primates, you call it as menstrual cycle. What are the example? Human, monkey and apes. This is a very important question, children, which is asked for 2 marks. I think all of you know when it is asked for 2 marks, either you have to write 4 differences or 2 very important main differences you have to write, and each difference carries half a mark. So let us see what is the difference between the estrous cycle and the menstrual cycle, or the menstrual cycle and the estrous cycle. First difference for menstrual cycle occurs in primates, and in estrous cycle it occurs in non-primates. So what is the first very important difference? between menstrual cycle and estrous cycle? Menstrual cycle, it occurs only in primates, and in estrous cycle occurs only in non-primates. Then the second difference, very important difference children, the females, that is I am talking about the menstrual cycle difference, that is the females do not show irresistible sexual urge, whereas in estrous cycle the females show irresistible sexual urge. So the first difference is for menstrual cycle occurs in primates, here it occurs in non-primates. Menstrual cycle, the females do not show irresistible sexual urge. Here the females show irresistible sexual urge. And the third very important difference is the endometrium corrodes or involves the shedding of the endometrium wall in menstrual cycle, whereas in estrous cycle there is no shedding of the endometrium wall. Right? Now moving on to the last but one very important difference between the menstrual cycle and the estrous cycle is bleeding occurs in this phase, that is in the menstrual phase bleeding occurs, but in estrous cycle bleeding does not occur. So what are all the important concepts we have studied in this session children? We studied about two very important plants which show unusual flowering. What are the two very important plants? One is bamboo. What is the speciality of bamboo? Bamboo flowers once in lifetime, that is between 50 to 100 years. So what is the speciality of Strobilanthes kuntiana, or commonly called as Neelkuranji? It flowers once in 12 years. Then we studied about the reproductive phases. As you know, the reproductive phase is of variable duration in different organisms. Based on the duration, we classified the reproductive phase into two types. What are they? That is, that was the seasonal breeders and the continuous breeders. Then we moved on to a very important concept, that is about the reproductive cycles. What are the two types of reproductive cycles we have studied? One is the estrous cycle, the other one is the menstrual cycle. So in my coming sessions, we'll be dealing with the remaining part of this chapter called reproduction in organisms. That is, we'll be dealing with the events in sexual reproduction, which involves pre-fertilization event, fertilization event and post-fertilization event. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.